Hello, hello, visibility hackers. Welcome to today's episode of the Showcase. I'm your host, Coach Molle from Visibility Hacking Studios, and today we're talking about selling the experience using your live show. Oh, I cannot wait to get into it. So, why don't we just jump right in? So I used to work in the travel industry and I made millions of dollars every week and every month simply by selling the experience. Now, if you watch the live show, I told you the story about working at a blockbuster, selling movies, and using that same mentality of selling the experience. Same thing happens regardless if you're selling info products or services or physical products. We all want to make sure that we are focusing on the experience that the customer is going to have. Either how it's going to help them overcome their obstacles or their pain points or their objections, or we're helping them realize that what they're going to get at the end after they pay for something is going to be well worth their time and effort. So before we get into that, make sure that you subscribe to us on our YouTube channel, on our Instagram page, on our Facebook group, all of that fun stuff. Links are down below. So let's talk about this, shall we? We know that if we want to diversify our income streams with our business, then we need to start focusing on both our products and the services that we sell. And hopefully being able to tie those together and create complementary services is going to be well worth your time and effort. So, I've told you, the travel industry, it's all about intangible experiences, right? Couldn't be further from the truth now. With the connection to live streaming and with our ability to connect to our audiences in real time, to be able to create content that is specifically designed to connect to our audience, we understand who they are and how we can best serve them. Once we realize that, we can change our industry entirely. So, the travel industry as a travel agent, it used to be a lot of pushing paperwork, a lot of late nights. Literally, before I got into the industry, you'd spend late nights handwriting airplane tickets, for example. Well, computer automation has allowed us to put that effort aside so travel agents could focus on creating better packages and working with their wholesalers and working with their tour operators to create the best possible experiences. But the internet has also opened us up to hearing lots of customer reviews, lots of unbiased reviews. So, who do we go to now? We have all of these marketing images and marketing messages, but we also have all of these customers and their opinions, and it's a lot. But where we do go is we always go to our trusted friends. And I've told you this before, when you build your stage, you build your platform to become that trusted friend in your niche and in your industry for your entire following, for the entire movement that you're creating. And the same is true in the travel industry. And I actually got sent this show a few days ago, and I had to create an episode of the showcase to show it to you because it does some really cool things that we can use in our businesses, even if you're not in the travel industry. Even if you're just selling products, this is a great example for you. Even if you're just selling info, this is a great thing for you as well. If you're consulting, if you're an info products business, if you are a coach or a consultant, this is all fantastic for you guys. So let's talk about this that we're going to show you is from a YouTube channel called Sherry TV. The name of their channel does not give any information on the type of content that they're creating. And the show specifically that we're going to be talking about, I think, is called Cruise Gear. So I'll be completely honest with you guys. I'm pretty much an old retired lady and I am obsessed with going on cruises. So definitely this caught my attention. And it's actually a few years old. So we can definitely improve on what this show is doing. But what this show is a mix of both info products and physical products. On the info product side, they're telling you about recent cruise destinations, cruise releases, new ports of call, new procedures that are happening within the industry, information that their ideal customer, as people who are interested in purchasing and attending cruises, this is the type of information that they would need in order to really get the most out of their vacation, or to make up their mind about what vacation is best for them to move forward. Like, what is that next best step for them? On the other hand, this show is also fantastic at showing you actual products that you can purchase. And not many of the products that they showcase in this show, they actually developed. Some of them are white label where they stuck their logos on them. Some of them are affiliate links as well. So there's great ways to add more income streams to your business. So if you're with me here and you're interested in jumping on board, definitely shout us out down in the comments. Let me know if you're here live or you're here on the replay. And also, while you're at it, let me know where you're coming in from. I'm curious where you guys are all located. So let's dive right into it. We'll just go right here, and we can talk about this. Welcome back. Thank you for holding after that brief technical difficulty. Welcome to live streaming, my friends. So in this episode, the first thing I want to talk to you guys about is how do we actually pick the right products and services to match our audience. So in this show, let's slide through and I'll show you some of the things that she does. So here we have a little second camera cutaway where she's picking out different bracelets and stuff that her brand has designed for her people. Now, some cruising friends of mine looked at this product and were like, oh, what is the point of this at all? It's simply just a bracelet that has a little anchor hook on it that's made out of rope. It's pretty basic, pretty simple, but it is one of those things, like what I like to call this sweater, our golden party armor. It is a symbol to those around you that you're into cruising. It's kind of like having a bat signal for those who are in the know. So think about what types of products will help trigger your ideal audience. In the world of ClickFunnels, everyone wears their ClickFunnels or their funnel hacker shirts. And those who don't know what a funnel hacker is won't really understand what the shirt's all about. But those who know, they know. You'll get the wink. You'll get the motorcyclist wave. You'll get to be part of the in crowd. Now, she's also showing us products that she's been able to find on platforms like Amazon. These are products that help overcome obstacles. They're very simple products that she's picking out. These are those white label products I mentioned earlier, like a little tote bag with her brand's logo on it. Very simple. You can buy them in bulk. You can have them print on demand. You have options, my friends. She also talks about these little devices. There's a big debate within the cruise industry of what types of power bars are you allowed to bring? Which ones will be confiscated? Which ones won't? It gets a lot of up and coming cruisers really nervous about having parts of their content taken away. And that's going to put a big damper on your experience on ship. So she's been able to create a list of products that helps overcome that obstacle for people. It helps get them excited. It's a very small tip, but she's also been able to harness the revenue from that side by offering the product. She actually has offered it as a white label product with her logo on it, but you can also do the exact same thing with an Amazon affiliate link. You can go through Amazon, find a bunch of products that work really well for your customer, and then you can actually get the affiliate links from those and offer those as a product for your people. Pretty cool, I think. Now, before we go any further, I want to remind you that this episode is brought to you by the Visibility Hacking Live Academy. If you want to create your own live show specifically designed to attract and nurture and to send your ideal customers, regardless of what niche or industry you're in, regardless of how long you've been in business, and regardless of the size of your competition. If you want to start building those connections, creating content for the sake of connection with your audience, then join us for our Live Academy program. There's only a couple more days left before this next round launches, so think quick. Join us. You can head over to visibilityhacking.com/let's go live, and we will see you over there, my friends. So let's quickly talk about the framework for a bit. Let's talk about this show in relation to the framework. So first, they have understood who they want to serve. They've understood their audience as being those who are returning cruisers or up and coming cruisers. Now, in the world of selling travel and selling the experience, we always talk about it's about a 1-year life cycle for each of these purchases. So you have 6 months of thinking about the purchase, 6 months of getting excited for it's the period between when you actually put down the money and when you actually go on the trip, right? So we as an industry are holding on to people's money for quite a while, and it can be a substantial amount of money sometimes. Yeah, you can pay in increments, but still, the travel industry is holding on to that money long before you actually get to experience your vacation. So we understand that those first 6 months, the 6 months between purchasing your product and actually going on the trip, you get a lot of anticipation. You get a lot of excitement. And then you have the experience, and you have 6 months after that experience where people are still excited to share the experience that they just had. And that will last about 6 months before they decide that they're going to put another down payment down and start that cycle all over again. So understanding who your customer is, understanding that life cycle, it's going to be different for your customers in your industry as well. So think about all of those different options. Think about your customer in a very holistic sense. Then we want to make sure that the message we're sharing on our show is in alignment with that ideal customer. Here, the show is perfectly in alignment. Every single thing she's putting out there is tied back to her ideal customer. She's not here showing you random products that are going to be fantastic for your European backpacking trip. She's showing you products that are specific for cruise ships. And I think that's a really, really well thought out niche. You can even get even more niche down if you want to, but in terms of aligning messaging, 10 points. Now, creating a branded experience. Here, I'm going to give this 3 out of 10 points. We have great coloring in the background, which matches in some parts with her logo, gives you that fresh Caribbean sea kind of feel, but we could get a lot more branding in here. We have a generic on-air little table lamp thing. Could have been her logo instead. We have a little cruise ship figurine in the background. That's about it. That's the only thing that says cruise ship in terms of visual branding here. We have a map which maybe says travel, but it could also say university dormitory. So think about your branding. My suggestion for this show is to simply have a little overlay with some branding, some calls to action, and maybe how to get in touch with them throughout the show. Because right now, none of their show really has that visual authority and that call to action. Their cameras look great, but it's just not going to cut it in terms of visual branding, in my opinion. Now, when we get to hyping up our shows, getting our show launched, this is something that we're not actually going to know about just by watching this episode. So let's skip on over to step number 5, which is being engaging in your show. Now, we can see in this episode that she is looking down at her computer throughout the episode, where she's engaging with her chat. She's connecting with her audience in that sense. And I think that's fantastic. But what she could do is have more calls to action, have more micro calls to action where people are engaging in the chat, engaging in the show long before you're asking them to purchase a product or check out your store. And then we go over to step number 6, where she's going to follow up with every single person who's commenting, who's liking, who's subscribing, all of those. Every single one of those follow-ups is vital to the survival of your business. And when we build that kind of connection with our audience, when we create an opportunity to have that connection, that's when everything is going to change in our business. Oh, I love it, my friends. So now let's talk about how her camera is set up. Now, a lot of our students in the Live Academy program get really nervous for some reason about the idea of having more than one camera. The idea of talking into one camera can be nerve-wracking enough for people. The idea of having multiple cameras just throws people off entirely. I love having multiple cameras. And I say that right now while all of my other cameras are packed away for a little adventure that we're going on. So right now I only have the one camera with you guys today. But in this show, let's scooch back. So we have camera 1. And I know it's called camera 1 because on her show, she actually calls out her camera switches. She has a camera guy with her, a producer, a live producer, who is focusing more on switching between cameras than actual live production tasks. We can talk about that another day when we talk about live production, but today let's just talk about camera angles. So camera number 1 we can see is a full shot on her, great shot of her background. So again, if she were to add more interesting things into her background that speak more to her brand, that would be fantastic. But otherwise, it's a great way to get her. It's a great view from about your bottom of your rib cage. This I'd give her a little bit more head space. So usually what we do is we put our fist on our head and we use that as the top line of our shot. But this is pretty okay. I'm not gonna complain. And then she calls for camera number 2. So we can see she's like, camera number 2. She looks off the screen and then she double checks with her live producer that they've switched, in fact, to camera number 2. And this is where she can get closer in. This is where she can really start highlighting her products. And, well, it adds depth, it adds interest, it adds a new level of visual authority for your show as well. So if you're selling products, clearly having a close-up camera to highlight your products is a no-brainer. But if you're selling info products, where can you use this secondary camera? Think about whether or not you need another camera on your face. Maybe you're reading a book. I used to do the business building book club, still do, and we have a second camera that looks over my shoulder onto the book that I'm reading. So as I'm reading it, you guys can also follow along over my shoulder. That's a great use of a second camera. So in your shows, think about how you can incorporate that second camera as well. Now, I also want to remind you before we go any further that if you want more tips, tricks, and strategies, you want more visibility hacking brilliance, then head over to our YouTube channel. If you're not already watching this on our YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, become an official visibility hacker. You'll get access to all of our live shows. And also, we release new videos with tips, tricks, and strategies for you every day, Monday to Friday. So check those out because I know that you will enjoy them. And now, my friends, there's a little bit of stress. This show stresses me out. So let's actually go back to our main screen and have a chat. So this show stresses me out because she's not utilizing her live producer in the way that she should. So if you are blessed to have a live producer, someone else who's helping you run your show, that's fantastic. But a lot of us run our shows on our own. And it's not as hard as you'd think. So when it comes to having multiple cameras and running that all on your own, well, let me give you the biggest tip possible. I have this really cool piece of hardware. It was kind of expensive, but I went for the Rolls-Royce edition. You can get one for significantly cheaper than I did. But I have a product called an Blackmagic A10 Mini Pro. And this enables me to click in. I have up to 8 different cameras I can put in at the same time. And all I have to do to switch between cameras is press a single button. It'll switch between all those different cameras. So the way I have it set up in the studio here is some of those switches go to cameras and some of them go to the screen share for my iPad. So while I'm writing notes and while I'm doodling on some of our graphics, our students are able to follow along with that. We also have a supplemental camera that goes actually above and look straight down at the desk so you can see what I'm typing on the keyboard. You can follow along that way with other lessons that we have. Having the ability to effortlessly switch between your different inputs is essential for your show. So if you really want to add that level of depth and interest, have a more professional looking show, it doesn't require you necessarily to think first about having a live producer. Having a live producer is fantastic, and we will talk about that in upcoming episodes. But for now, just know that there is hardware out there that will make your life so much easier, my friends. So much easier. So, guys, that's it. That's all I got for you this episode. Thank you so much for joining me. Let me know down in the comments what kinds of products or services do you currently sell and what do you think you could add? What kinds of Amazon affiliate links could you add to your show to start adding more value, start creating more opportunities for connection, and start creating more solutions for the micro problems that your audience is facing? Let me know down in the comments. I'll see you again very, very soon. Until then, remember I love you. Be excellent to each other and just go live. Your people are out there and they're waiting for you.